The clock's at 0, ain't no heroes in sight. No Cape Crusaders come to save us from the fears of the night. Death is peaceful, all I fear is my life. A resolution to the bullshit isn't clear in the sights. Don't know what's wrong and what's right. I do know that if you posit truth, others will respect. Help your community, that someone could still hit you with 6. Or if you murder teenagers with a tea and some Skittles, cause you a bigot, you could walk without a slap on the wrist. That's just a slap in the face. Been feeling hopeless cause we trapped in this place. We had momentum till we staggered the pace. We went from saying yes we can to failed attempts to make America great, while billionaires are still killing my state. The only ill is our fate. I need time to clear my mind. Chaotic incidents are way too frequent.
How you feeling?
I don't know, bro.
You don't.
I'm like in a weird space, bro.
Facts.
I'm like mad.
What you mad
I'm like,
for?
I got all the emotions, bro.
What you mad for?
Bro, it's just, you know,
Don't be
shit's
mad.
crazy right now, bro.
Don't be mad, though.
And it's only gonna get worse.
There are a lot of
Facts.
things to be, but mad ain't one.
And it's like
This was just scraping the surface.
they push up a martial law, bro. And I don't even think like people realize what they doing right now.
They can march these nuts. I promise you. I promise you. I swear to God. They can march these nuts, bitch. It's 2020. Let's go. Set this bitch up. They don't know who they fucking with.
Yeah, so it's just
bro, it's
weird
just
space.
everything is just like this, bro. I don't know, bro. Like this, it feel different this time. Like normally we see, okay, black man get killed. He ain't had no blick on him, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It's caught on video, and then niggas march, niggas ride in that city wherever it happened, and it's over with. But now it's like niggas is mad everywhere. Like you threw a chair on Boondocks or something. Like niggas
I would
just
say that feels different, but it also does not. If you look at what is happening, history, they say those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. It's damn near exactly the same, actually. Almost down to the number of officers that are involved in comparison to like the Rodney King beating, which is, I guess, what we would compare this to in terms of impact, right? So what, 5 officers versus 4 officers? They weren't originally going to be charged, and then the city rioted, and then in OJ's scenario, they were found not guilty and the city rioted. But either way, after that, a minor wave of change came. The issue is that what we are addressing is not the root cause of the problem. Racism cannot be destroyed. It only evolves. It only evolves and changes. We thought we got our freedom when they stopped making us slaves. And then we thought we got our freedom when they knocked out Jim Crow. And then we found out about mass incarceration, and it's still going. So, like, you know, what do we really do?
That's what we're gonna freeze.
Listen, man. But this is just me. These are the ramblings of a crazy old wizard.
Keep talking, bro. Keep talking, D'Angelo. I'm listening.
So
yeah, I'm listening to. I was just sharing it one more time.
Sponsorship.
Yeah, bro. Like what's crazy is like niggas even more mad because they already been like in the house, can't hoop for like 2-3 months. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah.
So it's just like adding insult to injury. It's like what, nigga? You mean tell me I can't hoop and I ain't got no stimulus check? Bet we finna run up in Target. We finna run up in Kohl's. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So what do y'all think of the looting and rioting? Like,
what do we think of the looting and rioting?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but I understand why they did it.
Because I work for the school district, and I work in the maintenance department, and I'm like I am the only black. And they asked me, and I was kind of on both sides. Like I feel it, and you know what I'm saying, and I feel why people wouldn't feel it. So how y'all feel about it?
May I?
Yeah.
I am the most infuriated with people who are angry about the riots because they say that a riot is the language of the unheard, correct? When this was all beginning, it was a peaceful protest, right? There is actual evidence, or at least I'm led to believe thus far, there is actual evidence that there were undercover cops that were walking through areas causing damage so that they could make the protest appear illegitimate so that they could then authorize force against the protesters, right? So let's say you're a protester protesting peacefully and you see this happening, right? You see them getting ready to frame up your entire organization so that they can then come attack you. I ask you, what do you do? What do you do that is better? You can talk to
And
me
that's
about
exactly
riots
why I was on the
all day,
fence.
but if that is how the riots started, then I feel like you missed the boat entirely if you're worried about the riots, because you should be worried about the videos that we have of what look like undercover officers who have photos of they just walking through and smashing windows in buildings, and people are following, protesters are following them, trying to get them to stop. Like, if you want to talk to me about riots, then talk to me about riots, right?
Right.
You can talk about the damage all you want, but at the end of the day, you're still talking about having a discussion about the value of human life versus the value of property. And you have to remember that we come from a country that originally considered us property. So if you want to talk about how we hurt you, if you hurt us, fine. You don't care about us. You care about things, but we will take those things. So if you don't understand us, you will understand this. If all you speak is money, then let us cost you money. If that is the only thing you will hear. Sorry, but I know you were comfy at home and you felt real safe. I had a friend who was talking about how just jumpy it made him. And I was like, you feel that? I want you to take a deep breath and soak it in. That anxiousness you're feeling because you feel like something could happen at any moment, that's every day. That's every day for us. So I want you to breathe that in. You're uncomfortable? Fine. I admit you should not be uncomfortable. Now you admit that I am like this every day and that something needs to be done. Because you refuse to do that. You want to focus on everything but the like. I had a conversation with somebody earlier where I posted where I said he died over a $20 check that wasn't even fake. And a guy put, I heard it was a $20 bill. And I said the great metaphor here is the irrelevancy of what currency he died over. You're arguing with me about whether it was a check or a $20 bill, completely missing the fact that this man, either way, it was real and he died.
Yeah, you argue semantics. That's dead.
When did you even get here, Johnny Bravo?
I just popped up.
We pretty packed this. You got to swipe. There's people on here that ain't talk.
Oh,
Shay's baby. We got JayyB. We got Mike. And we got Galaxy J7. Whoever that is.
Damn. Hate. Y'all gonna hear Ghost Town when I get in this bitch. That's how you gonna know I'm really in this bitch.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Like when I first saw the video before I saw the name, I thought they had caught Steven Jackson. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Bro look just like him.
Bro, I'm furious. These bugs just ate me.
Like, that's his brother. I really thought that was his brother. I'm like, shit. But bro, I feel you on that, bro, because I be telling like motherfuckers, they be like, oh, well, the looting is unnecessary. It's first of all, no, it's not, bro. Anytime you get Nick Jr. to acknowledge some shit, it ain't unnecessary. But like, it's like how you think motherfuckers feel like, bro, it was not necessary for him to like. Police really shouldn't be putting their knee on your neck anyway, but most of them only do it to cuff you, which is still wrong. But once you're in cuffs, what the fuck? Like, man, I don't know.
When they talk about restraint and resisting is this. That officer, say what you want about what he was going through at the moment. He had his hands in his pockets. You cannot have your hands in your pockets and tell me you felt threatened by anything else. Because if you are
look on his face, look on his face did not say threatened at all.
My thing is, G, it's like when they put him in handcuffs, if my hands are behind my back, how am I possibly a threat? How am I any threat to you? And it's multiple footage of him being on the ground in cuffs, then him being back up, them escorting him to the car, him being in the car, and it's so much that just happens, and there's so many questions as to why and what led to these. Like, how was he in the car? You know what I'm saying? Then out back on the street with your knee on his neck. It'll never make sense to me. It'll never make sense to me.
Nah.
Not supposed to. It's just supposed to cause.
Separate myself from everything day, and went out and just like kicked it with my girl and some friends, and we was just chilling. We was out, no phones really, wasn't really fucking with no kind of social media for that night. Just got away from all the shit. It was needed. That shit was.
I tried to
Yeah,
get
so
off
that's
social
why.
media. I tried to get off social media for like, I was like, I'm finna go 24 hours, but I'm such a troll, bro. That shit lasted like 24 minutes.
Yep.
Bro. I'll hop right
You
back
know
on
what?
this.
Is anyone in the room familiar with
got
Dante's?
them arguing on the Spider page.
Is anyone in the room familiar with Dante's Inferno?
Yes.
I feel like when I hear complaints about social media, I immediately think of Dante's Inferno, in that there were people who hadn't quite learned how to manipulate the world properly. They were called the muckrakers. They were the people that lived in between heaven and hell, always constantly raking through the muck. And it was said that if one would just look up, they would be plucked from perdition, but they never do. They just keep raking through the muck, looking for everything that's bad. And whenever people talk to me about social media and how it's taking a toll on them, I ask them what they're looking for. Are you raking muck, or are you looking up for something better? Because this entire world is what we make it. I don't know. I'll talk to you.
I mean, in a sense, yes, but the world also has its own shit that is going to bring to your front doorstep at the same time.
Absolutely. But everybody's got that load.
Yeah,
Everybody's got a big heap of shit right on their doorstep every morning. It's coming. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 8:11. Did we already start?
Yeah, so what time is it? Okay, yeah, so let's start it off with asking everybody where y'all at mentally right now, like how y'all feeling.
Who wants to go first? I'll go first.
I'm gonna say I'll start off. You know, I got two sons, man. Like, number one, anytime some shit like this happen, I start thinking about my kids, man. Like, I had to actually, like, I think it's fucked up that I have this talk with my kids at 6 and 7, and like really put them on to like what the world is that they're in, but not scare them at the same time. Like, that's a hard conversation to do. It's a real hard conversation.
It is.
Especially when you understand that really they should be scared. That fear might help temper them a little.
Like, I don't want to scare them, but like I gotta let them know like what it really is out here. And like after having that conversation, man, just like, I don't know, seeing how everything has spun, and like media trying to like get shit out of here, you know, the what was it, the medical examiner with the bullshit report, like, and then you just look like, you know, we coming out of a 3-month lockdown, you know, like, and then that transferring into this, like I said at the beginning of this shit, at the beginning of the lockout, I was like, I'll be surprised if shit don't really, really hit the fan by the end of this. And I didn't think that this was going to be the thing that sparked that. I really didn't. I didn't think it was going to be this. And for it to be this, it's just like, God damn, man. Like, I don't know. It just, I've been in a constant state of like, let me fucking get me and my shit together, and the people around me. Let me make sure everybody around me is good. Like, everybody cool, everybody good. I'm trying to make sure all my people safe. Call up the homies, make sure they safe. Like, I don't know. I'm in a protection mode right now. I'm in real protect mode right now.
I feel that.
Okay, that's what's up.
Who next?
I'm kind of feeling like, and this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm always kind of feeling like the Joker. Like, shit is always kind of just has always been happening out there, but as far as my place in the world, I was never really made to feel a part of it. So I attempt to empathize, but it's almost like I empathize through seeking to understand, because emotionally sometimes I'm not there. And it could be that I'm just so numb to this. I'm so burned out by it, by understanding how horrible man can be, because I do. My entire name is a metaphor for the sorrow of man, in that a black mage's only gift is that it can destroy. It's the only gift it brings to the world. I understand it, but at the same time, I don't know. It's just a tough position to be in, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
So, face wise, I'm the Joker, man. I'm just watching the world burn, and I probably won't die in the fire.
Who next? What's up, JB? How you feeling? Who just said so? Go ahead,
You
Mo.
can go. Well, all right. Well, I just feel like, bro, like, I don't know, bro. It's like that song I dropped, bro. Like, niggas is like, bro, I'm tired of this shit, bro. I'm tired of when I'm trying to leave at 9 p.m. to get Rellos. Oh no, I shouldn't wear this hoodie, this shit. I don't want to look intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just tired of, bro. I work with all white people, bro. And like, they not racist, but a lot of them just be fucking clueless, bro. You feel me? Like they'll see a black person die and don't understand why I'm mad about that shit, because they'll watch their own die and not give a fuck. They'll be like, well, I trust the system, so I mean, he what did he do? You know, it's like, bro, it don't matter what the fuck should nobody die handcuffed. That's torture. Fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I just remember, like, I know I seen how ugly this shit can get. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I had to move to St. Louis 4 days after Mike Brown got killed. You know what I'm saying? And go to college there and shit. And like, bro, it's just, I don't know if niggas ever been on the bus and seen motherfuckers like hop on the bus protesting, bro. That's some of the scariest shit. I'm like, oh shit. Like, oh shit, I'm with y'all, nigga. You feel me? But like,
got crazy out there.
On my soul.
Ferguson's
and
crazy,
it's just like,
bro.
yep. That's why I was trying to tell people, like, in town, I'm like, look, I ain't telling y'all to be peaceful. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, if you stepping into this ring, you got to understand what's coming with it. If you ain't, like, if you like, I'm just saying, like, if you ain't never been pepper sprayed, hit with a rubber bullet, tear gas, you know, these are things to think about. Bond money, legal support, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like they got the mentally, they got the unfair advantage right now. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, we really got the advantage. We the people, but like, we done been convinced over the years that we don't got the advantage. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know, bro. Like, I know niggas that was protesting in Ferguson, they still getting stalked by police to this day. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, bro, I'm just tired of this shit, bro. For real. Like, I wish it could just be like a representative of like the black community and like the racist motherfuckers. I ain't even gonna say the white community, because the racist is they own, bro. Like, white people sick of that shit too, bro. You know what I'm saying? And just like find me your best racist, your toughest racist. Put them in the ring with Deontay Wilder. Let's settle this shit. You feel me? Like, you know, so like, I'm just sick of this shit, bro.
I feel you, bro.
To the day. Sorry.
Hold on.
Yeah.
JB, how you feeling?
Well, I mean, I'm be straight up, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's like just seeing it all happen. But the main thing I keep seeing all this happen in the middle of a pandemic. Middle of a pandemic. Like this happened every other day. It's crazy. And it's been it's tough to talk about, because it'd be like, it'd be just tough, man. Just because it happens so much, and it'd be like, we tired. You know what I'm saying? We tired of acting like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no acting. We just tired of feeling how we been feeling, man. How we just, it sucks, bro. Because it'd be like, You feel me? I mean, I don't even feel like I'm making sense, but I know y'all feel what
No,
I'm
you
saying.
make sense, bro. You make sense.
Yeah, bro,
That's
we
the
feel
worst
you.
part, is that 100% makes sense
It's
when you
crazy.
get to the end of the road
It's
and there's nothing you can do but rehash an old thought that you
how
can't
it's
get
like.
any further on.
I just want my people to come together. This is good though. Us having these spaces to talk about it. You feel me? Because
Yeah.
it's tough to talk about, but we need to talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
It always feels contrived, but I'm always a skeptic or a cynic. And so even if it feels contrived to me, I think it's important because I don't believe that we as Black men are taught emotional intelligence and how to properly express. So it's why I think we struggle with it more than most people, because we are forced to be tough all the time.
I mean, I was
Mm.
told to suck it up. I was always told to just suck it up. Like, hey,
Yeah.
don't
Facts.
show that weakness. Like, suck it up. Be a man. Like that. I've been told that my whole life.
So maybe if we do some digging here, we can give somebody the tool to dig deeper into themselves, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
We are here. I think that's why this is important.
Do anybody else want to tell how they feeling? What?
I have an interesting
Anybody
story
else?
if you'd like to hear it, because I am part of a group, ASEN. They run the biggest anime convention in the Midwest, and I worked there every year for the con, and this was 2 years ago, I think. I remember being in the lobby, and this is just an interesting anecdote about being a Black nerd at a convention, like how being Black as a nerd affected me. I'm at this con, and we're in the lobby of the hotel waiting on food, because orders are coming in all the time. There's like 90,000 people, like they said last year. And so we're waiting on our food, and we see this kid dressed as Dante from Devil May Cry. It's this portly white kid, right? Dressed as Dante, has swords and guns, right? And then I see the police walk in, and it dawns on me that this white kid has guns, like fake guns, but they're Dante. They're fake in that they look like a real model of something that doesn't really exist, right? And so he sees the police and decides, oh, I should show the police that I have these guns so they know everything is okay. So he starts walking up to these cops with the guns held out. And I remember grabbing Megan's arm and getting ready to pull her out of this situation, because I was expecting the Chicago PD to just start shooting when they see somebody with a kid. But then it dawned on me that this was like a white kid, because he walks up and the cop doesn't even reach for his gun, looks at this kid, and just waved him down. Like, no, you're fine. Get out of here. And I was like, oh, right, I shouldn't be that scared. I forgot.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
But I mean, honestly, you started telling that story, and as soon as you got to the part about him being Dante said he had the guns with him, I know what them guns look like. Big dumbass guns, big dumbass silver guns. I know exactly what that looked like. If that would have been you, whole different reaction. Whole different reaction.
And I like to convince myself that because it was a big anime convention that the police that they deal with every year, because I think ASIN is like, I think we did like some like 17, 18 years now. I like to believe that it was because we were at a convention and the police were ready to deal with people with fake weapons.
See, but then
I
again,
also feel like a piece of me
no.
is super naive and wanting to believe. I have hope for the world, you know, and breaking down and only believing that I would have been shot in that scenario. I don't think that's a healthy mindset. We can't. I always battle between idealism and reality, and I know that we have to be ideal because that is reality. But I think we have a responsibility to dream, because you don't aim the spot you want to land on. You aim for 10 feet behind it. And, you know, if you undershoot it, you still made your goal. And that's how we have to be. But then we have to have these summits where we talk about the reality, where a guy can get kneeled on for, 9 minutes and die. And everybody's like, but Yep, that's reality.
I mean, look, you got people who are black belts in jujitsu, like where they actually do stuff like that. And they talking about, man, you don't ever do nothing like that to nobody, especially for that long. Like,
Okay, wait. I just had a brilliant idea. I have a question for everybody in this room because this is a POV that I wanted to discuss, and I feel like this is the perfect panel, right? Right on the head of this thing, before the George Floyd thing took off, there was a black man who had been accosted by a white woman in
Central Park.
right?
Yep.
And she ended up losing her job, right? And understandable. That's fair. She had what I called a fear-induced racial tantrum. She had that, right? But what I wanted to discuss was the guy who was there, right? He said something that as a dungeon master, you know, we roll actions on a 20-sided die. And if you roll a 20, it's a critical. You succeed, it's incredible. But if you roll a 1, it's a fumble and something horrible happens, right? Imagine that you are a lone woman out running with your dog, right? Your dog's not on a leash. Fair enough. This is where she fucked up. But somebody that doesn't have an animal that has dog treats approaches you in the park that's notorious for rape and bodies, right? And fair enough. He says, leash your dog. Again, fucked up. Should have did that. Should have been out there like that. She refuses. She goes full on Karen when he started filming. But just before he started filming, the dude was quoted saying something. And this is where I think this nigga rolled a natural one, because he said to her, if you're going to do whatever you want to do, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, and you won't like it. If you're a lone woman running with your dog in the park, and some stranger with dog treats and no animal says that to you, how do you react?
well, I want to go first. I'll go first.
I thought that was interesting because, yes, she was in the wrong for having her tantrum, and she was punished accordingly. But everybody's like, well, she didn't seem afraid. I don't know any woman on the planet that phrase wouldn't terrify. If you were a lone woman running in the park, you got your dog with you, this stranger's got treats, he says that to you in particular, that was definitely a natural one.
It's like, I understand that, but also, like, would the natural, like, the fact that she has a natural reaction to that, like, I don't know if I can base that off of her just being nervous about the situation or her being alone and there's a black man she's never met. And that's the fucked up part about it. That's where I'm coming from, at least. Like, I'm thinking about it like, yeah, okay, I guess in a way, if I put myself in that mindset, I can understand where she's coming from. But why the fuck does she even think like that in the first place?
You see what I'm saying?
And would she even think like that in the first place if it was a white dude? Like,
my thought, it seems a little rapey, right? So if you are going to attack me, and this, once again, this is just me trying to get into another person's mindset, because I know at the end of the road, I'm going to have to deal with them. So I may as well understand them, right? If someone says that to you and it sounds a little rapey, it sounds like you're addressing me as a woman. So if you're going to attack me as a woman, I'm going to, how do I respond? Threaten you racially. Again, this is just me trying to get into her headspace. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's what happened or how it played out, but it's really weird that they feel like this is a place that they can retreat to. Because it was interesting in that even as a woman feeling threatened, she was like, oh, but I'm white. Maybe I can use that. Is that not interesting? Is that not an interesting anecdote? Even in the midst of fear of her womanhood, she thought to herself, right, but I'm white.
Right.
That's crazy to me. Anyway, so what exactly do we know about George Floyd, right? What are the details of the case as we know them? Anybody? My computer had to do an update, and it's just about booted up, so I can't pull nothing up. But what do we know? Because I do know that I think the coroner report said that there was fentanyl in the system.
They said he had fentanyl in his system, and they said that he suffered from like hypertension or something.
Right. And then one of my buddies sent me a write-up of the entire scenario, and that it suggested that the amount of fentanyl in his system were enough to cause death in someone with a strained heart, like he had.
Bro, it's just bullshit, bro. They just trying to find any way to like cover up what they did.
No, once again, I'm going a bit conspiracy theory here, but what if it wasn't the knee that killed him? What if someone injected him with something? Because there were
couldn't see the other side.
him down. There were 3 cops holding him down, and 1 keeping him pinched with the neck. He's screaming out at a certain point. It sounded like he knew they were going to kill him, and I'm under the impression that there was a previous relationship between them. Apparently, they used to work together.
Yeah, they said they worked together for 17 years at a club. They was both like bouncers.
I don't know, man. I'm not that.
They did have a window. They did have him in the back seat of the car, and it looked like they was beating him. They could have been injecting him then.
Yeah, they could have been doing anything. It's the fucking, like, once a group of cops decide that they gonna do some shit, like, they gonna do it. Like, they gonna do it for real. Like, they don't bullshit with it. They don't miss no corners. Like, they just go all out.
Nope.
And that's
hey, how crazy is it that we have to have this
end up how they do.
How crazy is it we have to sit here talking about this stuff? That's nuts, man.
It's crazy. And what's even more crazy is we even talked about the mods case yet.
Fam, Ahmad, the Breonna Taylor case ain't got nothing on it. Like, honestly, I could reel off a list of constant cases that ain't got no kind of justice with them. And that's just what it is. They sweep a lot of this shit just under the rug. Like, yo, whatever.
The question, who you telling? Because we all know. And everybody else know. Everybody who need to know. What's going to change, bro? What's really going to change? Did we had this fight in the 60s, right? And then we had it again, in the 80s, and then we had a rebirth in the 90s, and we had it again, and we're having it now. Like we have to accept at some point that racism doesn't die; it evolves.
Nah, I've come to the conclusion that it's here to stay. Like, and it's fucked up, but I feel like it ain't going nowhere ever. Like, because this ain't the only place that we discriminated against like this, yo. Like, we just don't be in the places where we get seriously discriminated against like that.
Dave Chappelle said one of the most poignant things when he talked about racism. People forget. They say that racism is bad in America, but they also forget we're the melting pot. And anybody who's traveled, most people who have traveled will tell you racism is everywhere. But as Chappelle said, that's how the Chinese will win, because everybody in America is racist and everybody in China, Chinese. Like, a lot of people will tell you racism exists everywhere, but because most other places are a straight people, they don't have the issues that the melting pot would have. Because we are everybody forced to be together. They are countries of themselves accepting people as they wish. It's not really the same, or at least it doesn't feel the same.
So,
but I could be being a nationalist. That could be rude.
So for all the people that's on Facebook, because like when situations like this happen, it always seems to bring people out saying stuff that they wouldn't normally say. So how do you feel about people saying all lives matter right now?
I feel like all lives matter is, do you remember when they were dealing with abortion and they were pro-choice, because you can't say I'm pro killing babies, right? That just doesn't sound good. I feel like this is that same scenario. When you say all lives matter, that makes sense. I might say all lives matter with you if you're doing it in a scenario where all lives matter. If you're saying it in response to Black Lives Matter, you're making you're drawing a line. You're saying, yes, all lives matter. Black Lives Matter, those are separate things. Like if I say Black Lives Matter and you say all lives matter in response, you're kind of telling me that you don't qualify my life with the rest of all.
It's literally a protest to our protest.
Man, you saying I'm not a life? Is that what you're doing? No, I didn't say that. I did not say it though. All right, bro. And that's the politics. When someone says all lives matters to you, like you're kind of already done with the conversation. You can sometimes, and I am an advocate for dialogue, open dialogue, and trying to better each other. Sometimes you can change a few minds, change a few hearts, but most of the time it gets too heated. It becomes about one side against the other, as opposed to reminding someone that we are all part of that same side. Understanding is where we all falter. No matter all the other BS that we got going on, if we could all learn to understand each other better, we would be fine. But because we are not taught emotional intelligence or how to emote well, our emotions come out in unhealthy ways. Those unhealthy ways manifest in unhealthy decisions. Like, we really need to spend time learning how to emote, how to process. But
did you already discuss Drew Brees?
Oh, no.
No, we ain't get there yet.
Can I bring that shit up real quick? Because I had 2 things said to me today about it, and I want y'all to talk about it. So, don't let me divert. Are we cool? Can we go
You're
there?
fine, man.
All right, cool. I had 2 things said to me today about it. The first was, so everybody knows what Drew Brees said, right?
I would repeat it for the class.
Oh.
No, I didn't check in, so yeah. What'd he say?
Drew Brees said that he thinks that instead of kneeling during the national anthem, that we should show unity by standing and having our hand over our hearts. So, in essence, he was responding, or he's pretty much repeating what the NFL told Cap when he got fired anyway. The shit that pissed me off today was 2 people. Now, both of these people are Black, and what they told me was, one dude said, "Well, we got to think about where Drew Brees comes from. He may not be educated on the subject, and so he just comes from a background of privilege, and we can't blame him for thinking what he thinks." I'm gonna get there in a second. Second thing that I was told was that one guy was like, "I don't understand why, like, I just don't really care that much. I don't know why y'all hate white people so much, and it just don't affect me like that." Like, so my responses to both of them were the first one was, Drew Brees is a grown ass man who works around an insane amount of Black men in the NFL, because the NFL is, I would assume, is probably 3/4 if not more Black. I said, there's no excuse. First of all, and I was told that we should be educating white men. I said, fuck all that. I'm not educating nobody on shit. I said, if the internet exists, you're a grown man and you work around Black men on a daily basis, you have to build relationships with these people. It's your duty to do research and understand why it is that the people around you might be taking a stance, such as kneeling during the national anthem. Now, your view may be, hey, I think I would prefer to stand during the national anthem and have my hand over my heart. But there's no room for anybody questioning or disregarding the movement, the peaceful. Now, these are peaceful protests that were happening at the time. The peaceful protests that are happening by Black men. I feel like you don't get a say on that shit. Like, nobody, like, your opinion doesn't matter in those situations when there's a systemic issue of racism and discrimination in the country, and Black men are finding out a way, or trying to find a way to peacefully protest it in a multi-million, if not billion-dollar organization. So that was the first thing that pissed me off. For the other dude, I said, it's not that I don't hate white people at all. If I did, I would hate my mama. I don't hate white people at all. I hate white people who try to step into lanes and to tell Black men how they should feel about certain things. You know what I'm saying? About racism, how they should react. the way they should be holding themselves. That's the type of shit that pisses me off. Instead of understanding why it is that why it is we're doing what we do and where we come from and where our mindset is at, you have the nerve to criticize the movements. And then when folks actually get riled up and shit starts to get destroyed, now you're irritated and now you're like, oh, well, they're so wild and they're acting out of control. Okay, but y'all weren't listening when motherfuckers was just sitting here kneeling. So what would you like from black men to do? Should we just not exist? And so it was just, to me, it was really irritating to hear that from two black men in my close friend group. And so I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on that.
Interesting.
All them, everybody in the NFL they all owe Cap an apology, bro. Because literally
They do.
it ain't we never really like stopped dying from police, you know what I'm saying? This just one of the ones that's like been really blew up, you know what I'm saying, since. Like it's like I'm pretty sure another black person was killed by the police the same day as what's her name? The same day as George Floyd, but it just didn't get the attention. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like you would think that people would say, "Oh, well, I understand why the protest was important, whether they agree with it or not." But it's just like, man, fuck Drew Brees. He'd never beat Tom Brady.
Well, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Tom Brady too.
Yeah, no, him too.
I mean,
Tom, my boy, but fuck Tom Brady too. Shit. At the end of the day.
Oh my soul, he ain't said shit either.
Well, they all sit next to Trump, bro. Fuck all that, man. I ain't trying to hear it. You know?
If some players would have stood with Colin,
man.
What'd you say?
if some players would have stood with Colin, what he did would have probably had like a bigger impact. And I know some players did, but like we said,
they talked about
in the NFL. What'd you say?
I was gonna say they was talking about that back when he was doing it, back when he was kneeling, when he was actually still playing, and everybody was like, "Yo, like if everybody just did this, it might actually make a difference."
Right?
Yeah, like because bro, like the. What'd you say?
Like I said, it's not that hard.
Yeah, because like we said, the NFL, the NBA, like they're both like black dominant. So it's like. Why is he the only one that's taking a stand for us? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I get that, you know, a lot of people say shit like LeBron say shit. Like a lot of them do say shit, but it's like actions and just talking is completely separate things. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but they're also taking steps to better the community and bring our people out of poverty with the schools that they open and the scholarships that they pay for and blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to bring that up.
LeBron was just an example. I know what LeBron do, but it's people that's in the NFL, in the NBA, that's black, that's not saying a thing, that's not doing anything. You know what I mean? And that should be totally unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? Like they see blacks dying damn near every day.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of them grew up in worse positions than all of us. You know what I'm saying? And for them not to be doing anything or saying anything, it's just crazy to me. Especially when they have a platform to actually change shit.
And what rubbed salt in the wound is that the damn 49ers tweeted, "We stand with the Black Lives Matter movement." I said, "You motherfuckers." I said, "No, you don't." I said, "No, you don't."
See you tweet that
let
shit, bro.
them live.
I'm like, "Are you serious?" I would have
tweet that.
Gee, if I was Cap, I would have
just go whoop their ass right now.
People want to step in when it's convenient, man. A lot of people don't really care about these matters. They just do it to save face.
Bro, look at every big corporation right now. Everybody throwing out a tweet or an Instagram post like, "Oh, we stand with Black Lives Matter. Oh, we support the protests." Blah blah blah. Everybody want to come up and have a voice now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the music industry, they did the Blackout Tuesday where they didn't go to work for the day. But motherfuckers, like y'all been making money off blacks for fucking years. So it's like, bro, how about y'all put like album streams towards Black Lives Matter or something? Or how about y'all fucking not go to work on a Friday? Because music don't drop on Tuesdays no more. They drop on Fridays. So what is Tuesday?
Right.
What is that?
Damn, look,
Man, they ain't been going to work no way. They've been on quarantine.
Exactly.
Right.
Facts. They've been listening to me.
But I'm looking at something that says, remember when Laura Ingraham told LeBron James to shut up a dribble?
Yeah,
Keep that same
I
energy
saw
with
that
Drew
earlier.
Brees. I saw that
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah.
And that's actually garbage. Like that's his only job. But
Bro, it's just crazy, bro. It's crazy times.
it really
Especially,
Bro,
is.
I'm to the point where I just go on the spotted page and I just ask motherfuckers like, bro, do you want to just see me with the hands? Cause like I feel like ain't no black person ever did nothing to you, but if you gonna hate us, let me at least give you a reason real quick.
Right. It is so much easier to throw mud with pigs, but while it is fun, it is not productive. You
And
may
it's
as well just slaughter them. But that's the Doom coming out of me. I'm sorry. Occasionally I turn into Doom or Magneto.
it's like they completely numb to like what the fuck we go through, bro. Like it's like they don't understand it, bro. Like I work with like literally all white people, bro, and they just like the conversations that we be having, they just don't understand it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, plus like if you answer ignorance with ignorance, man, you're only gonna look like the bad guy at the end. You know, it's
The wise
sad to
man
say.
said, don't argue with fools, because people from a
No.
distance.
The sad thing is we're gonna have to be the bigger people about it, but it's just all about how we go to make that point.
Yeah, then I go back to the looting and rioting and shit. Like I said, I feel both sides, and like when shit like this happen, it open up old wounds. So like, on one side of me, I'm like, burn this bitch down. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I completely understand. Like, if we were older when Keywan passed, bro, like when they killed Keywan, bro, we would have burnt this motherfucker down. I'm letting you know now. We would have burnt this shit down, bro. But it's just like, at the same time, I understand why we shouldn't be doing it. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like, it's blacks that work at these places that we looting and we fucking burning down. And like, what happens when they're not able to go to work and that's their only income to pay their rent?
Responsibility to take care of them because they created the condition in which this happened.
I mean,
but
like,
unemployment, like if we go into fucking martial law, that shit it's dead, bro. It's dead. You know what I'm saying? So like, people not gonna have shit. So I get both sides.
Yeah, if we go into martial law, you think we're gonna let that happen though?
No, definitely not.
Man. Plus, like my job actually got hit. I work over at Old Navy, and like I ended up getting affected by that shit.
So all your blue jeans and your
For real though, I understand where it's coming from too, man. But it's just like people. You also got to take in consideration. I mean, outside of like the multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies, it is a lot of people's livelihoods, and it's going to be hurting the community as a whole. Like the more that type of stuff happens.
Sometimes when you have a wound and that wound is stuffed full of whatever object caused that wound, you will damage the host by repairing them. That does not mean that they will not take damage from the repair. It's gonna hurt when I pull this glass out. If you were hit with shrapnel, it's gonna hurt like hell when it comes out, but it has to come out. And it is not the responsibility. I don't honestly believe it is the responsibility of the protester to keep the citizens safe. Because one, we're protesting because we don't feel safe. You are now proving that you can't keep people safe. You can no longer blame us for your inability to do what you are supposed to be doing, what you cannot do, what you have not been doing for decades. At some point, we have to stop blaming the people who are angry. Like I said earlier, when they were talking about the protesters, and the protesters were just protesting peacefully, and then like there was video footage of undercover cops coming through, like breaking windows with flashlights and stuff, so that they can frame the protesters for damage and use force. Now you are a protester watching the people who are supposed to protect you, framing you so that they can then come attack you. What do you do at this point? You're
Right.
right. Like that's it. He's literally showing me that he's not going to protect me. He's framing me so that he can come spray me with rubber bullets and tear gas. No.
Yeah, I don't
That's not what we're doing anymore.
My bad. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that was it. That's not what we're doing anymore. We're not. We're
I
just not
don't
going
find it really. I don't find it. I think that looting. First of all, I'm gonna be biased. I don't think that anybody should loot in black communities. I think that we need to obviously build up black communities and keep them safe. I don't give a shit about what happens at the mall. I don't give a damn. You know, and I feel like, you know, like when they were robbing things on the Magnificent Mile and hitting the Gucci store and all that shit. Good, take it.
Go
damn
wrong.
it. Ain't nobody saying shit. And I think that looting is such a small fraction. There's such a small fraction of damage that happens versus the damage that's been done to the black community versus in all these deaths. And I'm gonna take it back to fucking slavery. 400 years of damages. And somebody just asked me, if motherfuckers paid reparations, you think niggas will blow it on? I said, you can't even pay reparations. There's not enough money in the world to pay reparations. You know what I'm saying? So the amount of looting, the fact that we're even talking about looting and compared to lives, like, my nigga, what? This shit's not even comparable, bro.
I will say that I'm proud of all the people that looted in Champaign because they ain't touched the North End. They left that as a safe zone. So I will say I commend that. I commend that.
Yeah,
they didn't touch what? What they ain't touch?
They didn't touch the North End.
Oh no.
So, and I mean, like, the police and this fucked up, crooked, corrupt government, bro. They pay people to loot. Like when I went to Ferguson, they were paying people to loot, bro. Like it's
yes.
They do a lot of shit, bro. Like this shit is all in their agenda, bro. And it's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I just think it's bullshit when the two get compared. There's always a second agenda that comes along with the agenda of Black Lives Matter. There's always a second agenda that's developed. Every single time. I don't remember what it was in 2013 when Trayvon was murdered. I don't remember what it was in Ferguson, but I just know there's always a second agenda that comes up that white folks somehow, or you know, not all white people obviously, but you know, the white folks who are, you know, the racists who decide to create another agenda to block what's happening and what needs to be talked about. And I think it's frustrating for people who are really trying to make differences and actually be about the movement, which makes, and of course, you know, media spews out this bullshit, so then nobody really knows who's on what side, and everybody's getting blamed for everything, and it's just a shit show. So it's just
they try to make this shit a dictatorship, bro. Coronavirus ain't work.
Most definitely.
Coronavirus ain't work. Then they said, shit, we got murder hornets. That ain't work. Another black person got killed, but this time put it on the news and make it big. You know?
Yeah,
like,
but for real.
Because we die every day, bro. So it's like, bro, like,
it's just that now we got cameras to highlight the atrocities that are happening.
Well, honestly, the cameras, that's really like a slap in the face, because when Rodney King got his ass whooped on camera, everybody thought like, oh, like we finally got him now. But like whole time, like I be trying to tell people, like, you know, if you not gonna, like, if you see somebody getting hemmed up to the point where they look like they finna die, if you're not gonna step in, then at least don't.
You're a coward, bro.
Like, I don't want, like, if something was to happen to me and y'all around, don't nobody film that shit. Because I don't want my mama to see that shit the rest of her life.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Can I interject with something that tags onto that, please? I was thinking over the last like 10 minutes, I was thinking about social media and how it changes things, or it appears to change things without actually changing them. But I was thinking about Emmett Till and how what happened to him was horrible, right? And his mother chose to leave the casket open so that the world could see what they did to her child. And that's what started everything, right? But now we're in a world full of social media where this woman had to find out her child died on social media from a video where she could clearly see it. And I feel like it's gotten so much worse. It's gotten better, but it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have the choice.
We all dealing with trauma, bro. And we don't, a lot of people don't even know they dealing with trauma, bro. Like, mental health, bro. We need to talk about mental health more, because I feel like we all are fucked up in a way, bro. Like, just because it's in our face, like, every day, bro. And that's why I be like, they don't understand because they be like, y'all shouldn't be looting, y'all shouldn't be rioting. But what do you expect? Like, when we see this shit every day, bro, this is us. It happened in our community. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we continue to see police get away with it. And, you know, they not held. What do you want? What do you want? What are you protesting for? Hold somebody accountable. You know what I'm saying? If you're not holding nobody accountable and they keep happening and they get a slap on the wrist, they don't give a fuck if they do it again.
Hell no.
Hold somebody accountable. And we don't care about you putting them in jail for the weekend. Slam their ass. We don't care about you putting them in jail for the weekend because that continues to happen in every case. They'll put them in jail. Even with the George case, they put them in jail. Actually do something about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know that they're going to protect their own. They're not really going to do anything with that.
That's the problem. That's the problem. And until we fix that problem.
That's why they saying George Floyd got coronavirus, bro. Watch, they finna let them cops out of jail. They finna let them cops out and let them quarantine at home. It's like you said, bro. They need to be held accountable. I know Darren Wilson, the one that shot Mike Brown, he made like 200-300 racks in donations from KKK and all that, bro.
The motherfucker that shot Kiwan made like 400, bro.
400,000.
More than the family, damn near more than the family got.
Damn.
Crazy.
They expect for us to be cool, bro. Like,
I ain't gonna lie, I still ain't watched the video. Like, every time this shit come on the news, I turn that shit off. I can't watch it, bro.
I cut it off.
I mean, just think. We've been seeing the same damn shit since. I feel like, okay, so if you just put it on a timeline real quick. Snapchat and Instagram started popping off right around 2011, 2012, but people weren't really sharing content like that until about 2013, right? That's when things got super heavy with hashtags and the timeline was just busting, right? 2013, we saw Trayvon get murdered. So this is the first time we seeing this shit for real. Like, there was no video of it. They were showing some evidence, but on the news, like, people were talking about it on social media when the news was popping off, and then when the trial happened and he got off. Folks were just in a frenzy, right? And this is right before I went to college. So I'm now at home here. I'm here in town. I'm at my grandma's house on the north side, and then I take my ass a month later to Naperville, Illinois, which is pretty much predominantly white for 4 years. Now I got my ass in Naperville, Illinois, in 2014 when Mike Brown gets killed. Now this is when Yik Yak was popping off, and you know how Yik Yak was anonymous. And everybody could say what the fuck they wanted. So white folks was like popping off on here saying shit like, you have a black president. What do you want? Like, what more do you want? Like, fuck that N-word, all this other shit. 2015, 16, all this shit keeps going around. I'm now I'm RA. My last year is 2016. And some white boys tear all my Black Lives Matter, all my Black History Month shit off the wall.
Don't forget to introduce Trump.
But this is before Trump. This is what I'm getting to.
You said 2016.
That's what I'm saying. This is right before the election. So Trump is running, right? I put up a Black Lives Matter shit in February of 16. This is February 16. And so Obama's still in. They rip Obama's shit in half. Then Trump gets in. You know how that shit goes down on social media. And then this countless cyclical motion of us seeing what's happening, white folks getting off, radical whoever's hopping online talking shit, and now we have to sit here and see it all, and then just be expected to go back to everyday business, which is why I think it's been so hard. Like Moton, what you were saying, it's been so hard for to watch and to think like if this were to happen to God forbid myself. Would I want this to even be televised? Because as you keep seeing the same narrative play over and over, like at what point does it get to where you just say, fuck it? And I think that's where the looting and all this shit comes from and the fires and shit. Like it happened in 92, it happened 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later. And I'm certain, y'all saw the video of like them 3 generations of dudes talking to each other about like looting and shit, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen it.
The dude that was like 30.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say the dude that was in his 30s and he had the guy that was there he was about 45.
Yeah,
and then 16-year-old there too. That one.
Yeah, man. And they was saying like he was like the 46-year-old and the 31-year-old said, look, like I was where he was 20 years ago, and the 31-year-old was like, I was where you was at 10 years ago, but like we couldn't figure this shit out. So it's like it's on you. But it's just for the younger generations coming up and being born into the social media shit, like how do they know anything different? As they're starting to see, you know, the outcome of this shit be the same summary. It's the same summary every single time. So it's hard to spew positiveness to them and to say that there's a way out and there's a change that can be made when they ain't seeing shit but the same. You know what I'm saying? So
then also you got to think like the younger generation already born into the music, popping perks and all that shit.
Right,
on top of always seeing us dying and it's being televised on the phone, on the TV. They seeing us die every day damn near. So I just don't want them to become numb to the shit. Like, I don't want them to become numb to like blacks dying. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it becomes the normal thing. And that's a problem, bro. It's a problem because if they become numb, then that becomes the normal. You know what I mean?
Bro, like society and the media, they love seeing the black man struggle, bro. It's the reason why you see that same old freaking slave movie being made like every few years,
but
bro. You
real.
always see that.
Every time.
Look, let me say this. I showed my girl Django for the first time. She had never seen Django. But I was telling her, I was like, this came out the same time that 12 Years a Slave came out. 12 Years a Slave, that heavy-ass slave movie. Won all these fucking awards, all this other bullshit. And it was just showing a black man getting his ass whooped the whole motherfucking movie, getting put down.
And Django was fire.
Yeah, I mean, and then Django was heat. Because it was a slave who got goddamn free and then went back and started killing a whole bunch of motherfuckers. Now, granted, it sounds crazy, but he was a bounty hunter. He was doing his thing. Like, it was a dope concept of a movie. Nowhere near the place.
So do y'all think the age of slave movies and thug movies and jail movies with you know the star black man, is that shit over? Should that shit be over? I think that shit.
I hope so.
That shit should die, bro.
I hope so too.
That shit should die, bro.
Yeah,
it shouldn't take for us to be in those type of movies to get awards, bro. Like,
and at this point, they're rewriting history, bro. That shit with the Harriet Tubman movie, that shit was freaking falsehoods. That shit was trash.
I mean, we also had Abraham Lincoln's Vampire Hunter, so let's relax.
But
I will say, I did theater for a portion of my life, right? And everybody called me a coon, but I got to smother. I played Othello. I got to smother a white woman on stage every night at the end of a show. So who's really the coon? Like, I'm just saying, if we about the shit, let's be about the shit.
I just think that type of Hollywood shit is over with, man. It's like,
I think so too.
It's disrespectful, man. It's disrespectful.
It's a cycle, bro. Like, I feel
that's
like
the disrespectful it is. That's what motherfuckers like.
Right. That's facts. That's facts.
Business society and juice ain't gonna never go nowhere in the hood.
Right.
You get exposed to something enough, people are gonna like that shit.
Bro, that's just like saying, cause Moton rapping about something different, the hood ain't gonna understand what I'm rapping about, bro. It's gonna be certain motherfuckers who got them demons and need them, bro, and they need them exercised.
Hey guys,
and the difference between the
Marvel?
hood movies back then, and like some of them now is like back then they had a message. Like if you watch Minister,
they gave you the good and the bad.
Yeah, they did. They painted the reality.
You watch Minister Society, he talk about Cain. Do you care whether you live or die? He's like, yeah, I do, but it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Or Boys in the Hood, like all that, bro. But like,
bro, even
like nowadays they don't even make movies with messages in them. They just remake shit. Like, bro, they finna remake Juice, bro. Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Really?
What?
No. Not at all.
Yeah, remake Juice. What they gonna call it? Crystal Light? And they trying to have dude that played Pac played Bishop. No, I don't want him.
Oh hell no!
He trash, bro.
He's really trash. He just looks like Pac. That's it.
That movie was so bad.
Horrible.
That Pac movie was terrible.
horrible.
That Pac movie should have been a Netflix series. We would have seen it completely different.
All right, let's get back on topic though.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. What was the topic?
Wait,
So
where are you? Oh, go ahead.
where y'all want to go next? Because we ain't really got a.
I thought Mage had something to say.
My shit was about Othello, but I mean, did anybody read Marvel enough to read Ragnarok? It was the story of the end of the Norse pantheon, where Thor's supposed to die fighting the world serpent, and Odin dies, and everything dies. It's Ragnarok, right? Well, Marvel had an interesting reinterpretation of Ragnarok in that comics draw from real life, right? Real life experience and political influence. And in it, Thor actually discovers that Ragnarok is something that is never ending. Like their entire lives as gods from beginning to Ragnarok was a cycle that would go through over and over and over again. And that cycle of their Ragnarok was feeding elder gods. And so in order for Thor to truly save his people, he had to break the bond between the elder gods and the energy that they received from their suffering. And that feels extremely apt in that we are sitting here having this conversation about what we as Black men can do, you know, against this police injustice, when the police injustice is really just a symptom of a far greater issue, you know? And it almost, like, that's why I said it felt a little contrived earlier, and it felt a little trivial, because we can discuss this all we want, but man, it goes so much deeper. There's a reason that we are, oh God, this is gonna sound so militant. Sorry, this is Magneto. There's a reason we're targeted, guys. Like, people can pretend that we aren't, but we were a target. They literally wrote a book called Breaking the Negro. Like, it's hard to argue that Black men weren't a target. The plot to take them out of the household, the crack epidemic, everything that just kept befalling. Like, we can't act like this isn't a cycle, man. And we can't act like any of this stuff is, this is going to be horrible to say. We can't act like any of this stuff is going to break that cycle, because, once again, the police are just a symptom. It doesn't matter if it's the police killing us, or some disease killing us, or some law that keeps us from doing right. There's always going to be a knee on a neck.
I literally think if they don't die off, there's nothing we can do.
They call me Magneto.
Bro. Hey,
So
hold on. I was on Twitter, bro. This shit was crazy. It was kind of funny, but at the same time, I was like, damn. Y'all seen that little that video of like them leaving that pallet of bricks in the hood?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
not, but out in the city, so motherfuckers could loot.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, shit, y'all see, some dude was like, hey, y'all see these police leaving these bricks out while y'all protesting? He's like, in the hood, he's like, shit, let me tell y'all about the crack epidemic. I'm like, yo.
And guns.
And guns.
That still happens.
Yo,
That still happens.
shit.
You don't know.
But think about, hold on. But think about the symbolism. Hold on, but think about the symbolism. Literally, motherfuckers are leaving. Like, you just saw the shit. Like, they left little bricks out, and they literally brought bricks of fucking cocaine and crack. And I'm just like, the shit is just, to me, it's just really interesting, especially as I'm going down the timeline, how people are making all these different connections to shit. And when it hits, I'm like, God damn. And it's just like, how all this shit is in front of us. It's in front of, you know, people who still don't seem to understand what's going on. I'm just like, how are you not understanding what the fuck is happening, bro? It just doesn't make any sense.
My man, it's not even in front of us anymore. It's behind us.
No, they're not trying to understand. That's what it is.
That's what it is. Tell them, Moton. Tell them.
If they was trying to understand, they would actively be doing things to, like, okay, well, what can I do? They not trying to understand. They got their opinion, and they just fuck it. It is what it is. And I feel like it's so many people like that. I feel like motherfuckers like Dr. King, Malcolm X, even Tupac, they all realized ain't nothing finna change in this generation, in this lifetime. So let me leave a legacy for the next, and maybe they'll change something. Like, no civil rights leader really got to live long enough to see their dream come true. Maybe Rosa Parks, she died in like 05.
They like drug dealers. We got to get you out of here early or put you in jail.
Well, yeah. Anybody influential, dead or in jail. But let me ask y'all a question. Wait, before I ask y'all a question, WilliamGold album drop at midnight, so make sure y'all check that shit out when he
2 hours.
drops.
2 hours Central Time. 2 hours.
But
Nice, bro.
so let me ask y'all a question. So with our platforms that we have already established, what can we do to help the situation? Like, what can we do today? Well, not today because the day over, but tomorrow. What can we do with what we already have built? Because I mean, all of us together. So you know, if all of us came together, what could we do to help the situation?
I mean, I feel like we would have to. I mean, we would have to use our unique point of views and our voices to speak to our people. I mean, if they're gonna listen, they're gonna listen. But we have to talk to them.
How do you do that though? Because a lot of people try to use their voices, bro. So you know what I'm saying? How do you do that? That's easier said than done because we say that all the time. Let's talk to the youth. Let's blah blah blah. But that doesn't really.
It's different sets of in my Joe Pesci voice. It's different sets of youths that listen to different people. You know
Yeah.
Like the kids
understand.
that's listening to Mage ain't listening to me probably. You know what I'm saying? Kids listening to Moton definitely not listening to me. They got dreadlocks. I'm bald headed. No funny. But if we bring everybody together and they see us all together, and we bring everybody together, that's my idea of the way. I mean, like when Mike fucked me up, when I told him Monday I was too hot-headed to be out there with the protesters because I seen Teach going in on the police and I almost said his name. And I was like, hold on, we on the live. I ain't gonna say his name, but I can see myself doing that because I didn't see my people get fucked. I didn't got fucked by the motherfuckers so many times. And the right thing a motherfucker say could have triggered me. But Mike was like, hey, man, old head, we might need to hear your motherfucking old voice right now. It's different voices all through this chat right now. We bring all them voices together and we bring our crowds together, then we either keep marching together or eventually it's going to do the same thing that we always do. All these marches and protests going to end up with people just zooming talking about shit.
Yep.
Unity is one of the keys.
I don't think I can really speak on like what everybody could do. I just know what I could do different. Like a lot of these young ages 14 to 19, you know what I'm saying? Like they all like in a sense look up to me because like I'm the stew man. You know what I'm saying? So like I can easily just like say some shit and influence. And a lot of times like I need to do a better job of like breaking shit down because they'll ask me something, oh well what's this, what's that, you know what I'm saying? And like I don't really just like I don't know. And like a lot of things, yeah, and a lot of also another thing I need to stop doing is like I put it like this. I got to a point where I went from okay, let me make this song because it's saying something to let me make this song because I think they're gonna remember the hook easy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I gotta do a better job of like you know. So like I troll all day. Like I'll post 15 memes, get all the attention on my page,
and you say
and then I'll drop a song like Back to the Trap. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, ugh, like why did I do that? And it's like, yeah, it's hitting and all that, but it's just like, you know, the whole plan was like, okay, just compromise a little bit until you get their attention and then give them the real. Like, and I never gave them the real. I just was like, all right, now I'm doing auto-tune. Now I'm doing
that shit you just spit was decent, bro. I really fuck with that piece you just put out, for real.
Appreciate it.
But I gotta
do more of that shit. You said what?
I was gonna say the same thing. I didn't want to look like the hater though. I'm like, hey, cause I done told motherfuckers before, I fuck with your drive, all that good shit. I'm like, I just wish Moton wouldn't troll so much. I swear to God.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that piece you put out was heavy, bro.
I think what opened up my eyes is like Like, bro, it really ain't shit funny. So like I can't troll now. All I can do is face reality and be like, damn, bro, like it's really time to, or it's just I don't know, bro. Only album I've been able to listen to, and it's crazy when we first hopped on here. What's the name? Gatson was asking, do I like To Pimp a Butterfly better or Good Kid, Mad City? But bro, like all I've been listening to the past couple days is To Pimp a Butterfly, bro, because I just feel like I feel like I got far away from my roots. Like anybody who can go back, you even go back to 2018, you look at my tape, The Chosen One, I was talking about all this shit then. And what's crazy is I had a face mask on like on some coronavirus shit. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So I was just that just reminded me, like, bro, like you know what I'm saying? You one of the ones that you have the talent level to make these to connect like a Kendrick or like a Cole or like a Wale, but you choose to be Chief Keef. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I gotta stop doing that shit, bro, because there's so many young people. I could have them thinking this way. You know what I'm saying? But they see me make Back to the Trap, they like, oh well, shit, I'm finna make a trap song.
Back to the Trap, yeah. Hey, I've been listening to Mule Music 4 by Joe Budden. A lot of people don't like Joe Budden, but
That shit cold.
Joe Budden is
One
one
is
of
a
the
dope lyricist.
dope. Yeah. Dope and when he puts his emotion in music, and I cried listening to Black Cloud the other day.
Hey guys.
And then and on the same tape, I cried listening to Welcome to Real Life. You know what I'm saying? So with me, if you listen to the Nightmare, when Nipsey got killed, my switch flipped. I was done with trying to motherfucking make motherfuckers who sold drugs happy. It's real life shit going on right now. I'm cool on all that other shit. If I can't tell you nothing real in my song and you don't like it, guess what? Stroll through this Zoom. I guarantee you it's gonna be another rapper in here who you might like. I ain't gonna dislike all y'all niggas, my brothers. I'm sorry for all my white people in here. Y'all still my niggas. But hey, man, I ain't gonna be like, yeah, no, that ain't my music. I make, hey, man, you wanna listen to some of that? You see the nigga right there in the dread? That's FlipSide. You see the little shoulder with the muscles? That's Sandman Slimm. You see the one with the hat? That's Mage. You see the other one? That's Hey, bro, man, it ain't gotta be number love, bro. Love, uplift, everything. I have 5 principles: freedom, truth, love, justice, and peace. And the main thing I need to honor is my peace. And because with peace comes everything, man. Without that, the sword of justice is not needed.
Yo, I'm
talk your shit, bro.
But for real,
absolutely, bro. I definitely 100% agree with you, G. Like, you know, so much. You know, there's so many different voices in here, which is crazy. One thing I'm gonna say, and I gotta hop off here, and I really appreciate y'all inviting me to this shit.
I do too.
Yeah, the one thing that I think we can do, and I'm gonna help make sure that we start looking at ways to make this happen is, you know, instead of doing what we just talked about, is just getting in Zoom calls and just talking about this shit. I think that what we have to make happen is we start connecting artists and ourselves with Black-owned businesses in town. And I think that what we can do is to start coming up with some real action items for how to make sure that we're getting not only awareness to Black-owned businesses to support the economic value of the businesses in town and the money that they're putting back into our economy, but that we start supporting the artists, and so that we recognize that there needs to be a fusion of the two, right? So if we can get businesses more familiar with the talent that's in town and vice versa, I feel like there's a huge opportunity in there for some really big opportunities and voices to be heard. Y'all feel me?
And then we gotta pull back, because I mean, where I came from, you know what I'm saying? In my era, the dope boys, goddamn it, they said, look, they appointed the next one that was coming up. We gotta reach back. We gotta reach back. We gotta get these shorties, man. Because I mean, when I say my daughter been staying with me, and this whole COVID, she's finna graduated. Oh my God! I hope the rest of the kids ain't as bad as she is. And I'm just dead ass serious. That's an 18-year-old Black kid from the south side of Chicago, and she mean every bit of that shit. But when this shit kicked off, I've been watching her, looking at everything different. Like, hold on, and then I'm showing her Black Wall Street. I'm showing her all this old shit that done went on, and she like, hold on, man. I'm like, baby girl, 1960, 2000, 2020. It feel like it's 9 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Ain't shit changed. It's just a different place.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I will leave over chat. I gotta dip out, but hey, this shit's dope.
Hey, really quick, before you dip out, could you do me a favor?
Nope.
Everybody in this room, if you know who Lupe Fiasco is, he has a song called Streets on Fire off his album The Fool.
Did it just drop?
No. It was he made it ages ago, but it is literally
way too relevant right now.
Damn near like listen to it and tell me you don't get chills, bro.
It's scary.
Hey, so hold on. Can I say this real quick? Do y'all agree that the music industry Colin Kaepernick Lupe?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's entirely what Lasers was about. Everybody hated Lasers. I loved Lasers.
Hey.
F you to the industry. All right, my man.
Yeah.
It was the biggest F you to the industry. They made an anti-industry album. Lupe did.
Oh yeah.
That thing's crazy.
I gotta get out of here, y'all. I gotta put my shorty to bed.
Yeah, it's probably time for all of us to end this.
Love all y'all. Y'all stay safe out here, all right?
All right.
Take care, bro.
You too.